Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you'll meet an entrepreneur who's going to talk about imposter syndrome, what it is, and how to tame it. Next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I think we've all experienced this before, imposter syndrome. I remember I had it. I was 20 years old. I was the weekend anchor in Lansing, Michigan. And I thought to myself, what do you know about the world? How can you deliver the news in Lansing, Michigan? You rent an apartment, you're talking about home prices and you don't even own a home. I had to overcome imposter syndrome, and it's very relevant today because you have a lot of young, Gen Zs, and they're managing a team of baby boomers. So imposter syndrome is real. Somebody who knows a lot about that, Tina Loren, she is the six-figure mentor. Yeah. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I want people to know your background.
Yeah.
Tell us more about yourself.
Okay. Well, I am an entrepreneur, but I started as just a young girl coming out of high school with no direction whatsoever. And my grandmother actually, while we were washing dishes, she said to me, Tina, maybe you need to go to college because when you get married, I'm 18 at the time, when you get married, if your husband needs help, then you can help him. And I thought, okay. Well, I found college eventually, but I never found the husband or the children. And I just kept getting more educated. I worked for Ford Motor Company for 10 years. Nice. I then worked for Abbott Laboratories. I worked in Europe for a bit and then found my entrepreneurial journey. So I went to SMU for my MBA, and there I did strategy, entrepreneurship, and marketing. Yes. And entrepreneurship was definitely my path.
Absolutely. And imposter syndrome became a passion for you. Why is it so near and dear to your heart?
So the reason why it's near and dear is because it's something that I've experienced and really didn't understand what was going on in my mind. I'm very self-studied. I'm always looking at myself to say, how can I make myself better? And as I started to have these feelings of, for example, let me just give an example. I've been in many rooms with extremely wealthy, educated, affluent people. And in those moments, I'm like, yes, I made it. And then in the next moment, I'm like, but I don't belong here. And I'm like, what is that? Why do I feel that way when evidence shows that I do belong and evidence shows that I have earned it, but in the back of my mind, I feel like I don't deserve that or I didn't earn it. So
negative self-talk is a big thing, and I think most Americans suffer from it. I urge you to go to her social media and follow her because she produces a lot of great content. Here's one of my favorites.
Do you ever feel insecure or have just this little nagging voice inside your head that doesn't believe someone when they give you a compliment? If so, you could be dealing with imposter syndrome. On the surface, you may not realize how often you downplay how truly awesome you are. I get it. It might sound weird coming out of my mouth that you yourself don't believe in the things that you've accomplished, the things that you've done to make yourself uniquely successful. It's something internal that happens day after day after day that you're downplaying yourself. And I know you're probably like, nah, Tina, that's not me. But tomorrow or the next day, I want you to kind of analyze. Are you somebody that's like, yeah, you know what? I did that. Or are you somebody like, ooh, I'm not quite sure how to take that compliment, or it was luck, or you know what, it could happen to anyone. That's not true. You are uniquely successful. At best, imposter syndrome can lead to situational anxiety, and at worst, it can literally hold you back from wealth and affluence. Look, I may be the first person to introduce you to these concepts or make you aware that you're even experiencing these things. But just know that imposter syndrome can change your money mindset and keep you out of those 6, 7, and 8-figure circles. If you want to step into the room full of fun, accomplished people who identify with this phenomenon or are just curious about it, come hang out with me and let's explore how we can level up ourselves, our income, and our affluence. On January the 25th, you can join me live in the Cedars District of Dallas or even virtually. For more information, just comment TAME.
And you have these events year round. What does a great attendee look like? Like, who should attend your events?
Anybody. I say anybody from a seasoned executive to a budding entrepreneur. The environment is going to be rich with people that are feeling the exact same way. And sometimes it's just about getting in a room and seeing the other people that seemingly have it all together, but they're feeling a little less than what they present to the world. So
Yes.
anyone.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot because
Okay.
I know you've mentored countless people. What's your favorite success story? You don't have to name the client, but when you think about, man, this is why I do what I do, who comes to mind?
I do have several that come to mind, but I think in particular right now, the success story that I'd like to share is the one of the woman who's working right next to me as my assistant. She started with me at age 21, and in the interview, she said, "You probably won't hire me because I just found out I'm pregnant." And I said, "Well, let's cross that bridge when we get there." Now, she had the baby's healthy, and 2 years later, she came back to me and said, "Tina, I really want to work with you again." And I get that a lot. People work with me because they know they're going to get mentorship and have fun and learn something and give to me. So it's a 360 relationship.
Yes, absolutely. Another video that she created was a day in the life. Let's go ahead and roll that one.
Take a peek behind the scenes of a day in my life. A lot goes on behind the scenes of what you see either on social media or we're out having fun. Buckle up and here we go. I kind of work on the go. I have my insurance agency, I write, I create public speaking events. Here is my makeshift office today. So at any given time, I can be anywhere in the city and I just set up shop and I just work. And this is a day in the life. This officer just ran through. He's like, "Go hide. I'm gonna shoot." We're doing an active shooter drill. It's really scary. Right in the bathroom, hiding. So a day in the life looks like this. I've got my little bag in tow, and I'm headed to my next destination. And many years ago, I set out to build a life where I owned my time, where I only answered to myself, where I was no longer subject to someone else's interpretation of my performance. It's not easy working for myself, but I really can't have it any other way. And be motivated as a business owner. The worst part of my day is putting this stupid bag into my trunk. My Tom Ford stiletto heels are sinking. I really hate this part. When I'm really lucky, there's somebody I can recruit to help me. I'm literally in search of the most stealth post office I've ever tried to find. No signage. But there it is. At about 5:30, I popped in here for a quick snack. I hear someone calling my name, and it's my beautiful friend Janae. We had an impromptu 30-minute power meeting where we looked for ways to help each other's business. Now I'm off to the Charles for dinner. My friend surprises me with a brownie from the Kessler. Oh my God, it is so good. Then Emma makes us these beautiful drinks and brings us focaccia that is to die for. And the vibe is unlike any other anywhere in Dallas. Then I get my next surprise. The way to my heart is definitely champagne. And he perfectly paired my champagne with these wood-fired oysters, a signature combination. I'm already stuffed, but here comes another course. The signature pie with a side of mushrooms.
Wow, thank you.
What a great way to close a great day. Now go create a life you love.
Wow. You know, I love that because you're so real. I mean, that was truly that all happened in one
That
day.
literally was one day in my life. Yes.
That's amazing. So in there, I saw your journey, your rule. Okay, what does that mean?
So excited. I started on my journey about January a year ago to start writing and documenting my journey from breaking corporate glass ceilings and moving into entrepreneurship. I then worked on a program for women's entrepreneurship through Cornell University in the last 6 months or so. So all of that came to your journey, your rules, the Be Your Own Boss blueprint. Now, that is really empowering. If you think of those words, your journey, your rules, the Be Your Own Boss blueprint, it's empowering words because there's 3 components. The first thing that we have to get past is our internal dialogue and what's going on in our own mind. No matter if we're going to be an entrepreneur or we just want to accelerate in our corporate career, we've got to get past that internal dialogue. The second piece of that is external environment and how we interact with the world around us. And then third, it's wealth and affluence and how we interact with money and our money mindset. So I'm very excited. It's launching very soon. I've gotten increasingly exciting feedback from it. So
Wow. I'm so blown away by your success. And she's an author. We've got a picture of her holding up her book. Yes. Tell us about this book.
Okay, so for many, many, many years, I would say, I don't want to just say how many years, but a lot of years, because then I'll give away my age. But for many years, many people have told me that I need to write a book, and that's a daunting task. I suffer from imposter syndrome. So I ended up working with a marketing company that had several Latina authors, and we all came together and told our story of where we came from and where we are, and it became this book, and that's how it was, and that's the first one. I've since wrote others.
Yes, and you've been breaking barriers your whole life, haven't you?
I really have.
When you first started out, did you see any other Hispanic female MBAs?
You know, back then, no, I did not see Hispanic MBAs. There were some that had bachelor's degrees, but very few that had masters of business. So at the time, I was probably there was only 3% of me in the United States.
Wow.
So yeah, so whenever it comes to imposter syndrome, I know for a fact I've earned these things, and sometimes it's just the rhetoric in my brain that still gets to me sometimes.
Cool. Okay, so we've only got a minute or two left. I want you to look into the camera on the left. Talk to the person who is thinking to themselves, gosh, I might need to hire Tina or go to one of her events.
So what I always tell everyone, in fact, every day that I'm on social media, I always say, just get yourself in the room. It's not about hiring the right person or being something that you're not. It's just putting yourself into the opportunities to meet the right people and click with the person that's going to help you. And I hope that's me. I click with a lot of people, but maybe I don't resonate with you in particular, but I promise you we can connect you with a group of people that can help you get to what you want to do.
Wow. It's such an inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your journey with us. We're going to end with her website, which is, of course, TinaLoren.com. The great Tina Loren. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.